Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 11.
Tracking some light rain out there for you tonight, but tomorrow could be a little more on the stormy side with some strong and even severe activity possible. I'll have the very latest for you.
I never thought stuff would happen like that to her. She's a really good friend. I know that she'll know that I'm always there for her.
How friends are helping a young girl after she lost her parents and nearly everything she owns, and how you can help.
The Wildcats win again. We have highlights from today's game against Louisiana Monroe. WKYT News at 11 starts now.
The rain just keeps on coming. Good evening, I'm Kristen Kennedy. Some strong storms are moving into the area, setting us up for a very rainy Sunday. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell is tracking those storms on the First Alert Defender. Jim?
That's right. Gets a little bit active for us again during the day tomorrow, especially later on in the evening and into the nighttime period as well. Defender tonight and through most of the day picking up on lighter action. Some showers here and there. Nuisance showers. That's what I like to call them. They're not really anything major, just enough to wet the pavement, wet the car, and force you to turn the wipers on. That's what we've been dealing with through most of the nighttime period tonight. Still tracking a little batch of moisture out toward the Moorhead area, just north of Owingsville as well. Now toward Hillsborough there. You see some very, very light rain. Won't be the case, though, I think, tomorrow. As we look ahead to our three-day threat track, the first day, of course, being your Sunday, and that's where I think we fall in with some showers and thunderstorms during part of the day, but peaking during the late evening and into the nighttime period. Then we shift our attention to Monday. I think we could have some clusters of stronger storms during the day, but then at night we'll have a little more widespread action possible going into the early morning hours on Tuesday and maybe even into midday as a squall line tries to develop and sweeps across the area. So this is our three-day threat track, and you can see here each day falling into that moderate category as far as chances for showers and thunderstorms for the next 3 days. We'll look at this a little closer with our hour-by-hour forecast coming up for you.
Thanks, Jim. Today, family and friends laid to rest a couple found dead earlier this week inside their Harrison County home. Kentucky State Police say Monday James Thompson killed Catherine Thompson, then set their home on Grays Run Pike in Cynthiana on fire. He then, we're told, killed himself. Tonight, Garrett Weimer talked to a girl reaching out to help her friend, one of the Thompsons' surviving children. You can help, too, in our top story at 11.
8th grader McKenna Tucker didn't think twice after she heard what happened to one of her close friends.
I just thought that she didn't have nothing else, and I'm sure if I didn't have nothing else, she would help me also, so I thought in return I would help her.
She started by texting her friends, an effort that since has grown to help the daughters who lived here. The Thompsons kids tragically lost their parents that day. They also lost a lot of what they own in the fire that destroyed their home.
I said, do you not have no clothes or anything? She said, I have clothes, but what's in the dryer, and it has a smell to it. And my mama said she don't think she can get it out. And I was like, oh, well, I'm going to try to help you.
So far, McKenna says she's collected 3 bags of clothes and more than $400.
I appreciate that the people that did donate and that are going to donate, and if they do donate, just don't have to donate a lot, but I'm sure every bit of stuff that they do will help her out.
Realizing it's all about helping out in her friend's time of need.
I never thought stuff would happen like that to her. She's a really good friend. I know that she'll know that I'm always there for her.
In Harrison County, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
McKenna says folks in the area can help out by going into any Fifth Third Bank and donating to the Fund for the Harrison County House Fire Victims. The search continues tonight for a missing Scott County teenager. Georgetown police say they will continue to search for 15-year-old Cassandra Miller. They say witnesses last saw her yesterday morning at her home in Georgetown. She has blonde hair and is 5'6" with a thin build. A missing person case out of Harlan County has now turned into a death investigation. Kentucky State Police received a call this morning about a body in a stream in the Nolensburg community. Detectives have identified the body as Willis Dixon. Police have been searching for Dixon since Wednesday. They say he left his home around 2 that afternoon. We're told Dixon had a history of medical conditions. 17 teenagers have citations in hand tonight after sheriff's deputies busted a party Friday night in Laurel County. Deputies say they were checking out a complaint on Payne Trail when they found 17 teenagers drinking alcohol. Crews took the boys and girls, all between the ages of 14 and 17, to St. Joseph's Hospital in London, where doctors treated, then released them to their parents. Deputies arrested 19-year-old Jordan Sturgis and charged him with alcohol intoxication. Since the 17 teenagers are not adults, deputies were only able to cite them. Vandals targeted a Lexington neighborhood again this weekend. Police tell us for the second time in a week, the culprits slashed tires and smashed windows in the neighborhood surrounding Thurman Drive, including St. John Missionary Baptist Church.
It's heartbreaking because we've been over here over 14 years and never had anything like this to happen until the last 2 weeks.
Police are now searching for the driver of an older model blue Nissan Sentra, last seen leaving the area around 6 this morning. The Cats win again. The wet weather didn't stop the University of Kentucky Wildcats from defeating the Louisiana Monroe Warhawks at Commonwealth Stadium today. WKYT's Lee K. Howard's here to talk about the 5th win of the season.
Yeah, somebody's really excited about that Louisville game. You'll have to wait a little bit longer in the season before we get to that win. Well, the Wildcats already with more wins this year than the past 2 seasons combined, needing to avoid the letdown, though, today hosting Louisiana Monroe. The Cats started slow out of the gates, but made a push in the second. This pass would be deflected at the line of scrimmage by Matt Elam and intercepted by Josh Forrest. And we're going the other way, 29 yards to the house, and UK was on top, 17-14. Kentucky had a 24-14 lead at the half. The offense really settling in the second half. Patrick Tolles to Javis Blue over the middle, and check out the concentration on this one-handed grab. 21-yard touchdown hauled in by one hand. 109 yards, 2 touchdowns for Javis Blue. It was 31-14 UK. Stanley Boom Williams back after missing last week's game and making his presence known. Led the Wildcats in rushing with 104 yards, and that included this 58-yard touchdown near the end of the third quarter. And Kentucky runs away with this one. Final score 48-14. Rob Bromley now with more from Commonwealth. Well, I guess we don't have Rob. In fact, we will hear from Rob coming up a little bit later in game time. I'm not the only one trying to get ahead of myself. Kristen?
Thank you, Lee K. Lexington's East Side neighborhood is expanding at a pretty rapid pace. Several new shops and boutiques are opening up. Right around the corner from the Jif peanut butter plant is National Provisions. Owners plan to expand the bakery and beer hall, adding a 2-story restaurant and fresh market next month. Across the street, crews are building luxury townhomes on a lot that's sat empty since the 1960s.
Lexington has a lot of interesting hidden pockets, and it just takes someone realizing they're there and starting to do something, and then all of a sudden, all the people who drive through and around all the time think, oh, I guess that can be something besides just a row of warehouses.
We have more information about growth in the East Side neighborhood on our website, WKYT.com. Food lovers visited Rupp Arena today to get a taste of the incredible food show. More than 100 exhibitors and speakers were at the event, including celebrity chef Ree Drummond, the Pioneer Woman. She featured a menu of comfort food using Kentucky-proud ingredients, including bourbon. A group of UK athletes is searching for the perfect Halloween costumes, not for themselves, but for children and families that may not be able to afford them. The gymnastics team is asking for costume donations. The event is part of the Wildcats Give Back program, giving athletes the chance to give back to the community.
Because we're like an influence on younger children, so I think it's just a good opportunity so they can look up to us.
You can drop off Halloween costumes at the Joe Craft Center this week or at the UK volleyball game next Sunday. We have a list of drop-off dates and times on WKYT.com.